This is a program to calculate the sum of odd and even numbers using for loop. The basic concept here is to take how many times we want the loop to continue and scan that and take the input from the users. So if we scan a number, it will have to be integer. The numbers that we will take will be printed here, and this is a loop. And as we know that every loop has four parts: initialization, condition, increment, decrement, and statements. An increment comes after the statement, and the statement comes when the condition is true or false. So for here I is a variable whose value is assigned as 0, and when I is less than n, which is the input that we took from the user, and if this condition is true, then this statement it will run, and if it's not, then the program will not run. And after the statement ran one time, it will be incremented. So what is the basic theory here? The basic theory is like that: if we take an input from an user s2, I suppose s2, so n is 2, here n is 2. Now I is 0, so it's 0. So as we can see, 0 is less than 2, so the program will run. Now when after that, the program will increment it. Plus plus is actually equal to incremented, so 0 plus 1, so it will be 1. So the value of I will be 1. Now 1 is actually less than 2, so again the loop will run, and when it's 2, it's not less than 2, so the program will not run. And that will be the end. Now as we can see here, what happened when the user took took the input from the user, and the statement that will happen after the loop continues, like the first time, if the condition is true, then these statements, all of them will run. Like the loop will try to take a value from the user, scanf and %d, and the value will be stored in a variable named p. Now if p is after we divide it by 2, the remainder, if it becomes 0, or if we get a remainder as 0, then the number is obviously an even number. But if the value is not 0, then the scan number that we took from the user is actually odd. So when it is if the remainder is 0, the value that we took from the user will be kept into a variable named even, and the terms that the loop continues, like if the loop continues for 5 times, then the 5 times p will be stored in even or else. And after the loop is done, the values that even and odd numbers will be printed in 2 lines. Now if we try to okay, so the program ran. Now let us take some inputs, like if 5, we want the loop to continue for 5 times. Now take the numbers. Let's take 2, 5, 4, 6, 7, Okay, so how many times did the loop continue? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. The loop continued for 5 times. Okay, and here total even numbers, as we can see, 2, 4, 6. These three numbers, they are even. 6 and 4 and 2, if we sum them together, then the value is 12, and 7 and 5 is 12 also. How did that work? Like, when the loop will run for 5 times here, and here I is equal to 0, so 0 is less than 5. Then the loop ran one time. 2. When it is 1, the loop ran again. 5. When it's 2, the loop again. 3, 4, and just like that it continued for 5 times. And after that, the easy part. Now, this is actually a program, and in this program there is actually a restriction, a restraint in this program that I also solved in another program. Like, why do we have to continue the loop as the user puts input? So I don't want to take the value that how many times the loop will continue. I just want to continue the loop to the infinity, and obviously there will be a break, like when the user inputs the value as 0. uh, then the program will terminate. But until then it will continue to the infinity. Now, how do we solve that kind of program? And that and I solved it, and this is the program. I'll show you it in the next video. Thank you for your time. Take care.